It's
Click,
like
click, click, click.
it's like a woodpecker, but on a keyboard. That's what it sounds like to me.
Welcome back to Would John Rather, a podcast where we ask people would you rather questions.
Oh wow! Start off with some enthusiasm.
I've
It's a
spent
podcast when we suck the life out of people.
I've
I
spent
bet people are glad they switched on this week.
I've spent so much time with these people over the past week. They all came and invaded my house over the weekend. Plus, I just spent the last 2 days with my brother. So over the last week, I've actually seen one of you every single day, I think.
Yeah, so you should be so much more joyous.
I'm so much more tired. And also it means I'm not as excited to speak to you as I usually would be. I've run out of things to say.
Charming.
You're very welcome.
You could have said thank you earlier when I didn't take your childhood toy from your house and steal it permanently.
Well, no, because that would have been on your head, be it. Have you ever seen what a screwdriver can do to a jugular?
Not firsthand.
Well, exactly.
That is also how you kill a circus.
Yeah.
Go for the jugular.
So, I've been thinking, how long until the classic Mulan song, I'll Make a Man Out of You, is deemed too offensive to exist anymore, and we have to retcon as though it never was in the original Mulan film? And also, that's the next live-action film they're bringing out, isn't it? So do you think it will still be in?
No, I think they probably made a lucky escape because they seem to not put all the songs in the new live-action ones.
But that's like deemed to be one of the best, at least for people I speak to, and you'd be amazed how often I speak to people about Disney songs. Meant to be one of the best and most beloved Disney songs there is.
I've not heard it.
I'll
I
Make a
still
Man
think-
Out of You.
I still think Shiny by Tamatoa is up there.
Yeah, but people can't be offended by that. Well, I mean, they could, but...
By a New Zealand man pretending he's David Bowie and singing as a giant crab. That's all sort of inclusive.
You underestimate people's ability these days to be offended by absolutely everything.
I think I take for granted that I offend people, because I'd heard on this podcast and there's a new one or two demographics of the populace that we isolate and throw under some sort of metaphorical hate bus every week.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah, definitely.
that's because we're a non-discriminating podcast. We think that
We hate everyone. We just haven't
everyone's
got
a
round
cunt.
to your demographic yet if you're not offended.
If we haven't offended your demographic, please write into us at...
Would you rather, PO Box 463, Runcorn.
Well, so I
Blah,
don't
blah,
think
blah.
I don't think it's a matter that we hate any. I don't think we hate anybody. I think it just comes down to they all hate us, so we have to insult them.
Speak for yourself. I work in customer service. I hate everyone. Here's a... Right, I'm going to go do my suggestion of the week early because it's just popped into my head. But if you're going to complain about something, do it politely, because I 100%, as someone who works in customer service, know that the more abusive and angry you are to me or my team, the less you are getting out of me. To the point that even if we're in the wrong, you are getting nothing out of me. My favourite term I've been using recently, I've been using it for years, but it's come back around into my everyday lexicon, is I do not negotiate with terrorists. The moment a guest turns around to me and says, I'll be putting this on TripAdvisor, I go, okay. And I just completely check out. I'm like, you know what, you do it. So that's my suggestion of the week. We're all people.
I don't know, you do sound like you're being a centipede because that clicking has come back.
There's no clicking.
There is clicking.
It's really distracting as well.
Well, I can't hear it, so therefore I think it's your guys' problem.
You said that about everything.
Yeah.
Also, what is it you do for work? Because I'm not sure you've ever mentioned it.
I mean, technically, when this goes out, I'll be between jobs.
So you're unemployed.
No, because I currently have 2 jobs.
He's got his degree to fall back on, which is a degree in sandwich making. I read it on your wall.
Yeah.
I skim read it and I picked out the information that was which is valuable
And that is that I have a degree.
in sandwich making.
Yeah. People always sound so surprised when I'm talking to people in my industry. They're like, what, you studied this? And I'm like, yes, that's why I'm better at it than you.
Ooh, because that's a real good way to make friends and alien people.
And alien people?
Alienate.
I'm not trying to make friends.
That's what the clicking is. He's trying to make friends with aliens.
No, they're flower pot men. Right, brother, you're really, really shit at herding. We need to get you some sort of lasso, a collie.
No. You cannot call me shit. This all started because of your lackluster introduction.
Okay, but who's meant to be running this episode? Because apparently they demanded you come back for one more week. And what did we say before we started recording? You need to get better at trying to herd us all in. What have you done none of so far?
Well, pipe down and we'll begin.
Finally. He's grown
Right then. So, shut your face. First question. Swing, slide or seesaw?
Swing, slide or seagull?
Yes, obviously that was the question.
I'm going to go with seagull.
Well, it was actually swing, slide or seesaw.
Ah.
Can I go swing?
Yeah,
Please.
if you want to be a swinger, that is your prerogative.
As one of the only two married people on the podcast, I believe that it's something I could venture into without just being sleazy.
Well, seeing as I can't have seagull, I'll go with seesaw.
Well, that's just as well because I wanted slide. What's the best of all the fun kids playground things? That
Swings.
can be
Seesaws.
You don't get either of those in a swimming pool. They're not adaptable enough.
I think if you go to a river, there's a good old rope swing.
Yeah,
Which
and
is
I've definitely
10
seen
times more
seesaws that
terrifying.
are powered by like water jets as well.
I thought it was the other round. I thought it was the seesaws powered the water jets.
Or one of the two.
Or
I'm not
vice
really-
versa.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry, carry on, John. You were saying that all of them are as good as each other.
I've literally never seen a swing or a seesaw in a swimming pool.
Yeah, but
And
the problem
that's
is...
what counts. That's where real fun happens.
The problem is, do you know what is quite fun in the rain? Playing on a seesaw or a swing. Do you know what you don't play on in the rain? The slide. That's the one that gets ignored.
Yeah. No, you do play on a slide in the rain.
You go faster.
Yeah, much
Well-
faster.
You also
Water
get a lot
makes-
wetter.
Water makes slides better. Also, if it's summer and you get fairy liquid, you can make, and then you put out some plastic sheets, you can make the slide really, really long. And you can't do that with the seesaw. Put fairy liquid on a seesaw or a swing and you just fall off, and that's not any good. So far you can mix slides with swimming pools and fairy liquid, and it's made better. Whereas if you combine those things with the other two, they won't work.
I've just
See,
got this image of every time John goes to a swimming pool rocking up with a big economy bottle of fairy liquids, and they've gone, sorry sir, and pointing to the poster on the wall, which is a picture of him really excitedly trying to walk into the swimming pool with a big economy sized bottle of fairy liquid. Like, how many times we have to have this conversation? And he just looks really sad and walks away.
See, I think the problem is you've run out of ideas of how to make the slide fun. And you've had to resort to having to improve it by adding stuff to it. Whereas a swing, you can play several different games on the swing set without having to improvise and add to it. So you can go to any park and still play the same set of games, like who can swing the highest, who can jump off and land the furthest away, and then you do ghost rides or bumper cars. Whereas on the other two, you're fairly set on slide down, or
Race.
you go up, you go down.
You can't race on a swing or a seesaw.
Well, you can't race on a slide because it's one person at a time.
No, there's
To be
two.
fair, there was a
You
very
can.
wide slide behind Richardson Cycles in Huntingdon, and when we were teenagers, which, considering we're from Huntingdon, I don't think we were that bad, because while everyone else our age across the country I found out used to go out and drink cider, we used to meet at this park and play a game where we'd go 3, 2, 1, go, and just fight each other who could get to the top of the slide the quickest.
Yeah. And also, there's Bedford Oasis is the one that I always think of. It gives you a time, how long it took you to get down the slide, and then everyone has to beat that time.
But not every slide has that facility.
I went to Bedford Oasis recently and took my kids. They went down the slide and they dragged me up and went, "Oh, come down the slide as well." went down it. It's lethal. As an adult, you go down so quick.
Exactly. It gets even better as you get older. You go faster.
Out at one point.
See, slides are dangerous, and they're a lot of work. You've got to go all the way to the top. It takes 2-3 times as long to get to the top of the slide than it is to come down it. So the high you get is quite minimal compared to the amount of effort you put in. Whereas a swing, it's not that hard going. You go backwards and forth a few times, and you actually get to max altitude to the point where the chains of the swing start to go a bit 0G and not support you very well, and then you come crashing down back into the seat, and your heart goes in your mouth. That's quite fun. It's a good little thrill without knowing that you're going to die. Whereas if you go over the edge of the slide,
there's only so high you can go with a swing or a seesaw, whereas a slide, basically infinite. You can make them bigger. You can make it bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger.
That's exactly the same with all three of them. That point is null and void. You've said enough things to now enter ridiculous territory.
No, because you have to have leg power to be able to push the swing or the seesaw infinitely high.
Okay, John,
slide,
why is there not a tube slide from the top of Everest down to base camp? Why is there not the world's longest slide from the top of Everest down to base camp? Why doesn't that exist?
Right. First of all,
no one's bothered. No one cares.
First of all, let's hook a generator up to all three of our instruments, and we'll go with. Oh no! If we attach it to the slide, you wouldn't actually get any energy from it, whereas the swing and the seesaw would produce energy. So the slide is out. Goodbye slide. Second of all, I want to make friends. What is sadder than a 31-year-old bald man sitting on one side of the seesaw just staring out into the middle distance in the rain?
So that's why you want to swing by yourself quite happily in the park, minding your own business.
No, because the seesaw...
You don't have to have people take pity on you.
I don't want pity, I want a friend. And what is friendship if not pity, but for other adults? I'm going to make your life a bit less worse by joining you in it.
So I've got to give up my time and effort to make you happy.
Yeah, but you don't even have to make me happy, because that's the other beauty of a seesaw, is it's also lethal in the wrong hands. When you get to the bottom and you bash your feet on the floor and you make them go jumping up to the point that they then bash their face on the handlebars, if you choose to. It's a very trusting thing, the seesaw.
I don't know about you, but I love all of you guys to bits. I don't know if I trust you enough to not at least give it a bit of a go, just to fuck me over.
Exactly. So it would just
that doesn't
sound
fun at all.
That doesn't sound fun at all. Putting your fate in someone else's hand.
Neither does whizzing down some metal at terminal velocity with nothing at the bottom to stop you.
Also, think of all the steel slides in the middle of summer. How many times you got up thinking, oh, this isn't that bad. You get halfway down and realise you've lost half the skin off the back of your legs or elbows.
Yeah, and it's absolutely sweltering. And if they're not made of metal, then they're made of plastic, which means you get bloody static burns. Exactly.
Okay, everyone, I want a quick closing argument for each one.
When you go on a swing and you swing really high, you think this is really good. You think, have I got the bottle to jump off? I wonder how far I could get. And it's always terrifying. And then you launch yourself off the edge. You land on the floor in a big heap. You stand up feeling really triumphant. And you're miles away from the swing and you feel a real big sense of achievement. And then you go off home and eat turkey dinosaurs. It's brilliant. It's the best feeling when you're a kid. Leaving the park and choosing the most spectacular way to leave it is by throwing yourself through the air uncontrollably.
When was the last time you were on a swing as an adult?
Probably about November when it was drier. At the weekend, when little man was on his bike, we went down to the park and he was running around on the climbing frame, and I was on the swing, just minding my business because it was just about big enough to fit my arse in it.
Were you using it the way you just described about swinging up as high as you can and trying to land as far away from the swing?
I did. I made it to the edge of the big scrunchy rubber matting because little man was calling me over to go play with him on the roundabout. So I went, "What's this?" And it was like I was 8 years old again, just throwing myself through the air. It was wonderful, and I still felt a little bit of terror, like, am I going to land properly or am I going to slip?
Except as an adult now, my bones are brittle.
I've got heavy bones. I've got nice dense bones. I've never broken a bone. I'm pretty good on that respect.
Is a roundabout just a seesaw but in the x-axis?
No, because it's continuous movement, whereas seesaws oscillate.
A swing is more like a seesaw.
Yeah.
The Lonely Man Seesaw.
Yeah.
Well, I would say that for the Seesaw, it's the only one of the three of them where you can't be too fat to go on it. Because if you suddenly
no, it
want...
is.
Yes, you
No,
can.
It is.
no.
I can't play on the seesaw with my little boy.
Yes, you can.
No, I can't.
Of course you can.
I've got to stand next to it and push down on it like some loser.
But it's just a matter of finding the right people. But you can physically be too fat to actually sit on the swing or go down the slide. There will be one day when suddenly...
too fat to walk.
Yeah, but... Okay, there's a very, very, very big difference between being too wide to walk and too wide to fit down those slides. Most slides, probably I couldn't even slide down anymore. And that's a fact.
Yeah.
Depends on the design.
Right. John?
You can always slide faster.
No, you can't. We've just discussed terminal velocity.
I'd love to see John getting like a lycra bodysuit that's like frictionless.
You can always try to slide faster.
And now I've just got images of not only the swimming pool baths having pictures of him with fairy liquid, but all of the kids' parks in the area with wanted posters of him sneaking in with Durex Play lube bottles in the dead of night. It's like every morning the parents are trying to take their kids out to enjoy it. It's like, oh, the lube
John's
fiend's been
here.
again.
Well, be that what you will, I will beat that record, and that is what life is all about.
So what's your current record at your local park?
Well, I wouldn't go to a slide at my local park. I'd go somewhere good.
Right, are you saying the slide at your local park's not good?
Nor are the swings, nor's the seesaw.
Can we just agree quickly before Nathan makes his decision that parks when we were growing up were so much better than these parks now that have got like gym equipment and they think we haven't noticed that it's gym equipment? You don't need gym equipment as a kid. Give us all the things that we can like get stuck crawling through and injuring ourselves on. But also, that's how kids lose weight is by playing. Don't give kids a running machine and trick them into losing weight. Give them a giant metal spider that if you fall over and bang your head on it, then you don't need to worry about your weight anymore because, well, you're going to be in hospital for a long time.
Fun fact, my first ever house was built upon that metal spider that Matt concussed himself on.
It was a very, very hard metal spider.
And do you know what the park was called?
The Spider Park.
There we go, enough said. Not the recliner bench press lift cross trainer park.
Some of the things you used to get, I don't know if you get them anymore. Do you remember the one that was next to the fire station that was basically just a rainbow? And I just remember going there all the time, and you'd be climbing up it because you're kind of climbing up. And then when you got to the actual like maximum height, you either had to do like some weird turnaroundy thing to then climb backwards down the other side, or you would just keep climbing forward to the point where now you're just climbing forwards upside down, and gravity's about to. Yep, now you've fallen.
Yeah, I remember them.
Like they were
big arch.
dangerous. How
It was
did
like
any
the
of
monkey
us?
bars, but it was a big arch.
Yeah, how did any of us survive this long? Like, 'cause at least with climbing trees, it was like they weren't taught to grow in a specific way, so you had to figure out. These were specifically made to harm children.
Matt, you're going on a tangent. Nathan's trying to wrap up, and you're talking about trees.
Well, he's the one that said he could
Let's face
control
it,
us.
none of us know anything about horticulture, and your mum will correct us when we get it wrong.
Yeah. And also, you're renowned for being able to climb up trees but not down them.
This is very true. Not just trees, anything.
Where are you
Climbing
doing-
down's always harder.
Is that why we had to click in earlier? You're still stuck up one of the trees, and there is a woodpecker next to you.
I was trying to befriend a group of squirrels that weighed my exact weight so we could go on the seesaw together.
No, the squirrels have listened to this podcast. They ain't coming anywhere near you. You can put them in a blender.
Not if they played on the seesaw with me. There are two different types of squirrel: friend squirrel and food squirrel.
Be my friend, or I'll blend you.
Exactly. Funnily enough, that
wasn't
also
that-
used to be my Tinder bio.
About to say that. Right, I'm calling it there, and slide wins.
Yeah. I mean, it was
Um,
pretty obvious.
Yeah, seesaw. Let's face it, seesaws are shit.
Nah, I do love seesaws, but to be fair, I think swings are the best out of the three. But I did think you said seagull.
No, I do like a swing, but as an adult, they kind of make me feel really.
I like a swing even more.
No, they make me feel sick. But slides are awesome, and John did say about a slip and slide and water park slides, and I think as an adult we can all agree that they are the best things. So, yeah.
They're basically the only things acceptable for a grown adult to go on of the three.
Yeah.
Well, slides are basically like shit roller coasters, aren't they?
Or
my
roller coasters are just really good slides.
Yeah, but my favourite... I mean, yeah, because you go slide, helter-skelter, roller coaster. That's kind of the evolution, isn't it? Because what is a helter-skelter? That's just a dry water slide.
Yeah. Plus, you get those rides that have like big drops at the end. That's just a slide.
Yeah. See, my favourite rides at any theme park has always been... I don't know if you'd have seen them because I can't remember a big one that's got it. So there's one at Blackpool, but basically it's like a big spinning disc that has just a load of seats hanging from it in chains, and it just spins round. And it's not
like a set of swings, but on a roundabout.
Yeah. No, that's what I was getting at. Like, they're my absolute favourites, but as previously discussed, there isn't really anything that's kind of like a seesaw, and I thought you said seagull.
Apart from like bipolar disorder.
Oh, damn, we should have taken it down the mental health route. Seesaws and swings, you have ups and downs, but slides, it's all downhill.
Oh.
On that cheery note, we've done suggestion of the week already, thanks to not John.
Do you remember when going down a slide backwards and head first was the scariest thing?
3 questions in 45 minutes.
Question 2. Animal, plants or people?
Animals.
Just to be clear, I said animals, plants and people.
And just to be clear, I said animals.
Are we talking about eating? Because I changed mine to people. I'm going to choose people because people are shit, and I'm going to try and fight a good argument for the human race. I'm going to do my best.
Okay, so should we just scratch John off straight away?
You do that anyway.
Yeah. We all need a hobby.
You know I'm the most dangerous out of the two Johns, so you're always trying to write me off.
Well, animals are just so much better than people because they can't tell us their opinion. And if there's one thing that I hate about people, it's their opinions.
You've got 2 cats.
Yeah.
You know exactly what they're thinking when they stare at you.
Yeah.
Knowing that you're good enough.
They don't tell me.
No, they just show you in their faces.
And yeah, plants.
Yeah.
They're just plants. I'm very good with plants. For some reason, I managed to keep houseplants alive better than a lot of other people I've met. And also, it depends whether you're talking about whether you want to own them, befriend them, or eat them, because animals are the best for all 3.
I think people are the best for all 3.
Not legally.
Well, the pyramids weren't built. No.
Oh, okay. There we go. Slavery.
You know, people work well when given the right incentives.
Death.
It's a bit extreme. It's not something I'd personally choose to, but when you're the pharaoh and you've got enough people to do the threatening for you without questioning it, sure, get pyramids out of it. Why not?
But why? What was the point of the pyramids?
So the pharaohs would be remembered. Seems to be working, doesn't it?
Yeah, and I guess they didn't have a podcast.
Yeah, they didn't have the internet to like pull people from 1,000 years away.
They didn't have Minecraft where they didn't actually have to do it with like years of turmoil and suffering of others. But you know, people are inherently good.
See, I think plants are the best because they just have an infinite ability to be more interesting. And you can't think of a shape that a plant hasn't already done. You can't think of a colour that a plant hasn't already done. You can't think of something that has been built that a plant hasn't already done. Like
a server network.
Yeah, a Nintendo Switch.
Basically, that's interconnectedness. That's just the roots underneath. They're all all the trees underneath are all communicating with their roots.
Right.
I'll tell you what, my aloe is not talking to my jade plant because they are definitely potted separately.
And what type of bush can I play Super Mario Odyssey on?
I'm not claiming to be a world expert. In fact, I don't think anybody could be expert enough in plants to know off the top of their. You asked me a question about what can I do? Which one can I do with this? I'm not going to pretend I can answer that.
Well, then how do you know it for a fact?
Well, because
That's like me saying to you, I know how to make a sandwich. You say make a sandwich, and me saying I don't need to prove myself to you.
I'm saying there's far too many. I couldn't tell you the best one to play.
Exactly, there are far too many plants. We need to get rid of some.
No, we don't.
Get rid of all the redundant.
Get rid of palm
They're
oil.
much more interesting.
Too many palm oil.
Too many palm oil plants.
Or
Too many
animals.
palm oil plants.
We need to get rid of the plants, and people are overpopulating the world. That's what the issue is.
No.
People are trying to make a change, though. People are doing their best. We've realised the error of our ways.
Without plants,
Greta Thunberg
no animals or humans could
best.
exist. Plants could exist without humans and animals.
What do you define as a plant, John?
It's
Just asking for a friend. Because the algae in the sea produces 60% of the world's oxygen.
yeah.
So is
yeah.
algae a plant or is algae algae? Because
How the fuck should I know?
Seem to
You
be
don't
talking about
seem to
plants
be
in
an expert.
in the leafy sort of aspects.
You shouldn't have picked this as your specialist topic on Mastermind.
I didn't.
Specialist topic, plants. What is a plant? Well, I don't know.
All I'm saying is that plants could exist without animals or humans, whereas vice versa could not. Therefore, plants are better.
If plants were so good, why don't they rule the world?
They do.
Do they?
Do they though?
Yes.
I'm pretty sure I have paid someone to desecrate some trees and turn them into guitars for me. Oh yeah.
Or have the plants tricked you into thinking that you control them when really they've basically convinced you to pot them in a little pot and look after them for the rest of their life.
But the joke's on you because John admitted the other week that he kills all the houseplants.
No, my wife does.
Oh, your wife does, exactly. And exactly by your definition then, John, then are humans in charge of the world? No, definitely not in my household because I have 2 cats. They've managed to pretend like they've been domesticated when actually they get to sleep all day, they get their food provided for them, and they get belly rubs and new toys every day. Every day they get a new toy.
Yeah, but plants also...
No, the plants are trying to kill my cat. We have 2, yes.
Right.
That's
And the
my
dog.
animal kicking off, thinking she owns the place.
Stop.
But actually, I do.
Stop.
Brother,
Right.
you can't
I'm
just
not-
control the group just by shouting stop at them.
We can. You shut
I
up.
can, I did, and I have.
Not really, because we carried
I'm
on.
cool.
What's your favourite plant, John?
Plants that have weapons.
I like a Venus flytrap or a pitcher plant
Cactus.
or a cactus.
Or, yeah, one of those ones that have big sacks that things fall into.
Dog, go away.
Yeah, pitcher plants. Who's your favourite human then, John?
In which respect? I've got a bit of a man crush on Henry Cavill. Because he plays Geralt from The Witcher, and he does a pretty damn good job of it. But I also like Steve Irwin. I really like Steve Irwin. I've got a lot of time for him.
And what do you think he would pick? He would pick animals, which means you basically just agreed with me that animals are best. And also, we all know that my favourite animal is tied between a pangolin and a quokka. If I could armour a quokka, then we'd be away.
But animals are also very tasty.
Yeah.
Animals so much. Why do you pretty much exclusively only eat animal? Or is that part of your argument?
I eat some. I probably eat just as much vegetables.
You're so familiar with them, you said it so strangely.
Vegetables? Well,
The vegetable.
I eat cake. Cake is made of flour, therefore cake is a plant.
Cakes are also made from eggs, which is chicken menstruations.
Yeah, but they're not quite an animal yet. And what's something that's nearly an animal but not quite? Plants. So eggs are plants.
Oh, eggplant.
Yeah, eggplants. Just crack one of them open.
There's nothing that can't be done that hasn't already been done by plants.
Yeah, plants win.
Why?
Why? Well, to be honest, I would have gone with animals because I do prefer animals over people. But John's point of animals can survive without people or animals, yeah, it kind of makes them superior. So,
I mean, I wasn't sure how far down in animals you were going because plants can't survive without insects. You know, earthworms and bugs to be turning the soil, bees and other flying insects to be pollinating, the flowers. So I wasn't quite sure how down the animal branch you were going.
They can.
Because then if I get insects, then do I get like bacteria?
Some are self-pollinating,
At
or
which point-
they can
sound hard done by here.
they can blow through with the wind. They can blow their seeds.
Yeah, dandelions.
That's how I reproduce.
I just wait for a windy day and spaff out the window.
Mate, it's worked. At least once.
Yeah,
How many times has missionary worked for you?
true.
Right. On that note, are you ready for the final question?
Yeah,
I can't believe Matt and I are playing for pride against John.
it's about fucking time.
Like 100 episodes in now.
So this is quite a basic question. Music, TV, or books?
I'm going to go with TV. When you say TV, you don't mean like actual TV, you mean like visual media.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
I'm going to go with books because, well, for one, most TV or films are based on books, and there's a good reason for that.
Have you not seen Matilda? Anything you can get from a book, you can get from a TV quicker.
I'm not sure that was the moral of that film.
Yes, that was exactly it.
Matt also wonders why all of his cars don't work because he keeps just chucking sawdust in the engine.
Yeah. And I keep putting glue in the inside of all my hats. So I guess John picks music.
I do.
He was definitely going to pick music.
I was going to say, don't really need to build an argument because the one thing that all of us guys have got in common is a very similar taste in music. We all appreciate the art of guitar-based, normally metal music. And I can tell you what, the best gigs of my life have been far superior to any of the films I've watched. Some films really touched me, I'm not going to lie, and some books really, connect with me and they're quite nice. But the way music makes me feel when I listen to it live and when I listen to like a decent recording where someone spent their heart and soul into conveying something that is more abstract than here is a picture, this is exactly what I mean right here, right now, or this is a string of words and you have to read them how I say you read them. It's a lot more open to interpretation, and there's some magic to it that you can connect to it on a slightly different way to anyone else, and it's yeah, I don't know, I think music is a clear winner in my heart out of all of this.
See, I was torn between music and books because we all obviously hesitated for a long time if I haven't edited that out, which I don't know because I haven't done the editing yet, but I went with TV because everything you can get from music and books you can get from TV as well. There's music in TV, there's stories in TV, you've got a bit less choice over it, but also the way that modern media is going, there's so much more content out there that's available for you that I just think being able to watch something is just that's the way forward.
I mean I respect both of the other arguments. They're both, TV great, music great, but I just think that books are so much more culturally significant for the human race. I mean, they've recorded history as we know it. We wouldn't know things about.
We don't need to.
Before humans started writing things down is described as prehistory. Basically, history only ever started when we started writing things down.
We also discussed at the weekend, history's only written by the victors.
Exactly.
So history is,
biased.
It's good, but it's tainted.
But the other thing is the other two could, in order to maintain them forever, you basically are reliant on technology.
No, you're not.
You're not. Hold on.
London Bridge is falling down. It's a story about the fire of London.
Hold on.
Ring a Ring of Roses is about the Black to Death.
Let me finish my point.
And Punch and Judy is my favourite TV show.
A recording of some music could potentially be corrupted if it was on a tape. If it was on a hard drive. But there is one way that you could definitely maintain it in perpetuity is by writing it down.
Sorry, bear with me.
I've got a friend that discovered some lost music in an archive for a long dead composer that the music had literally never been recorded, but they found the notes that the composer had left in the archive and recorded it for the first time. Now, they'd never heard it before, but the way it was written down in a book meant that they were able to bring that back to life. And you could do the same with a film script. Without the written word, we're basically nothing.
Which is extremely worrying when, maybe not in our lifetime, but in a few lifetimes, there probably won't be books because we're trying to get more economical with our environmental, which means we're going to stop harvesting forests for paper because why not have everything digitised? And I believe that's what they're going through at the moment, aren't they? They're digitising all of the records and all of the books, so we don't need them.
My wife works at a paperless hospital.
My wife? At a paperless hospital?
Yeah, okay.
What do they use for loo roll?
They've made books digital.
Bidets everywhere.
Ah.
So it can work both ways. You can help a book. You can make a book digital.
Reading and writing is just...
records.
We're just spoiled because reading and writing is like one of the original technologies. If you don't know how to read or write, like it's all right saying, "Oh, I've got a book," but if I give you all of your books in Mandarin, it's not much help.
Well, you'd have to learn, wouldn't you?
Well, you would, but it's still a technology.
Just another counterpoint. To be able to appreciate some visual medias, you need to be able to understand the language. Whereas I don't understand Mandarin, but I could listen to a classical piece of Chinese music and appreciate it for its beauty.
Exactly. And I remember in school we had to watch Finding Nemo in French.
Yeah, you can get picture books.
I don't quite get what that point was, but okay.
Well, you could. Yeah, I don't have to be able to understand any language to enjoy a book. I can get a picture book.
You can?
Anything that a film or music can do can be done in a book.
Like a flick book?
Perhaps.
What about a 3D film? Does that translate to a pop-up book?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. The Very Hungry Caterpillar.
That would be
not a pop-up book.
wouldn't it? And just
No, but it's 3D.
Yeah, but sitting in your front room watching your 3D TV and a very hungry caterpillar just comes out and starts munching away.
We need to remake a live-action horror Very Hungry Caterpillar where it turns into Mothra at the end. It could be the prequel to Godzilla.
I know who could write the
Kill
score.
it with fire.
And Hans Zimmer could write our score.
Yes.
Have you got any more argument for TV?
YouTube, Netflix, Hulu, Disney streaming.
I'm calling it there. Music wins. YouTube. You started with YouTube, and it's just dangerous.
Why?
Are we talking about the YouTube wormhole, where you start looking at how to fix a 3-pin plug you've stood on, and you end up watching comedy from 1923?
Yeah.
And you go, hang on a minute.
You could spend an hour watching YouTube and feel like you've wasted your life, whereas you could spend an hour doing the other two things, music or reading a book, and feel like you've improved yourself in some way.
Can I make another suggestion of the week? Please go onto YouTube and search for the band Henge, the song In Praise of Water. Our friend over the weekend at about 2 a.m. said, "My dad's bought me a gig ticket to go and see this band. I'm not sure how I feel." And about 30 seconds into it, John here
went to bed.
"Yep, and that'll do it for me." I showed someone at work the other day who was hungover, and he went, "No," and he just got up and left the office and went to the bathroom to sit in the dark. Henge, Henge, In Praise of Water. It's incredible. I've watched it a few times now.
No, John actually won it because I thought I would go with TV because that is the media I probably use most. But I enjoy music more than any of the others because it's more about the feeling, and it's poetry in motion. If you listen to lyrics, you can just enjoy the rhythm and the beat. So yeah, John's argument won it. So I suppose
it's nice that for probably the first time in a long time that an argument actually swung who won.
yeah. I mean,
I find it highly convenient that in each question he was originally going to go for the answer I picked, and then he was swung away from me.
You're just not good at making arguments.
It's a very brothery thing to do, isn't it? But
well, like you said at the start, I spent a lot of time with you recently, and now you're just really getting on my tits. I suppose next week I'm going to have to let you go back to the original format. And I'll see you again when someone else isn't here.
So we'll probably see you next week then. As you're going to disappear for a while, do you want to sign us off then, brother?
Yeah, sure. I've been Not John, so has other Not John, and these have been John's. Thank you, and good night. Unless you're listening to this in the morning, then enjoy your day.
Good morning.
Oh yeah, have a great day.
Oh, one last thing. How do we plug our YouTube channel, our Patreon, our Facebook page, and all the other means of getting in contact with us?
We can't, as we've decided music is better. We need John to hurry up and release his debut rap album.
Where he can reference all of them and then mic drop and leave.
Yeah.
Oh, that's the thing. If people sign up for Patreon, we will make John make a rap album against his will. If that's not worth a quid a month, I don't know what is.